one of the big things that's going to change is just the pure power of the headsets themselves. So you've got a new generation of headsets, the Vive Focus 3, for example, the Oculus 3, the Vario Aero, all pictured here. And what they do is a couple of things. One is they're pushing the resolution level upwards. So 3 years ago, most VR headsets were around about 1K resolution per eye. Then now it's now becoming standard to get to about 3K per eye, which is pretty good. And it's a really noticeable difference. Now, the human eye can see, they say, up to 16K. So we've got a fair way to go. But that trend will grow. Moore's law doing its magic. So we will get there. And in not very long, it will be indistinguishable, the virtual from the real. And that's when things get really, really exciting. And the other thing that they can do is they've just got more processing power, these headsets. So they're just more powerful computers, and they can manipulate detailed objects and environments, which means you get more realistic training. You can do things like rapid prototyping. So this is something that engineering companies, automotive brands are really actually building into their standard processes now, not just as experimental lab projects. So that's really exciting, and that's just going to make all the experiences better and more convincing. The other thing that's happening is they're getting lighter weight. So you've got headsets like the Pico Neo, the Vive Flow, and so on. So that criticism that they're clunky and heavy and uncomfortable is gradually being lifted with each new generation. And you can see here that what perhaps was once a huge box sticking out from your head is rapidly approaching the scale of a pair of glasses. So VR is approaching wearable technology status. And so in a few years, we could all be looking as cool as this very serious couple in the bottom right-hand corner here with their chunky sunglasses. But the important thing is it's less of an obstacle. It's more usable, more comfortable. And the reason that it's also possible is because smartphones are getting so much better, 5G networks are more available, and so therefore we can use devices to do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of processing, and therefore the headset is just a screen, and it can get smaller and lighter and live longer. So that's, again, an exciting direction. And then finally, a little bit on features. So each generation of headsets adds more features and functionality. Different brands focus in different areas. But for example, you've got things like the Lynx XR headset here. So that's a mixed reality headset where you're actually seeing the real world and then content is overlaid in front of it. So that's where we're actually using, rather than a VR headset, it's an MR headset. Hand tracking is getting better. Every time we update, we have Oculuses across the team, and every time an update comes in, the hand tracking gets a little bit better. And so now it can really see each finger and what you're doing, and approach Minority Report territory where you're doing everything with your hands and you don't need these big clunky controllers at all. So again, that unburdening of users from hardware is going to be a really important step. The headsets can also then integrate with other applications. So this is an example from a military training program. So as well as just the headsets, just the visual and audio stimulation, you've also got other bits of hardware that can be integrated into that virtual environment. In the middle here, this is a virtual surgery training program. So using robot arms to give haptic feedback. So what that means is you can hold a pen, which is in your eyes as the user, a scalpel, and the robot arms will essentially give resistance as you move it around and practice cutting into different things, and different organs will offer different amounts of resistance as you cut them. And I mean, it's amazing. So all this stuff is really exciting. And then finally, in the bottom right-hand corner, Mark Zuckerberg hinted at the last conference that the Oculus 3 or maybe the Oculus 4 headset would come with face tracking. So what that means is when we start to project ourselves as avatars into the metaverse, more on that later, those avatars will be more faithful recreations of what we're actually looking like and our actual facial expressions, which is one of the barriers to human interaction that is there at the moment.